Hey guys, that's Nick.
I'm Max.
We're co-founders at Graphit. We're specialized in developing complex AI solutions, and this is our podcast where we talk about all things AI.
The future of AI is a very interesting topic today, especially of this week, as we all see the release of a new Chinese model, and which made like AI 5 times cheaper than what OpenAI has in the market right now, and it shows us few things which might come in the future. And the first one is AI might be a lot cheaper than what a lot of people think, and than all of us thought before. And that might mean that we will see AI everywhere, even faster than what everyone expected. Like with models becoming so much stronger and so much cheaper, we might see it everywhere. Even this podcast would be running by AI.
But
Like,
think about it. But why do you think? How do you think they were able to achieve this? What were like the main kind of drivers for from what I've read? Obviously, I mean, a lot of people read in the media these days. I think the cost of production for the model was like 100 times cheaper than the OpenAI kind of um, models. What do you think was the main kind of driver?
yes, that's a very interesting question, and the big driver for this, it seems that U.S. chip restrictions kind of made Chinese companies a lot more efficient. So they have older chips which are a lot less powerful, and but in the same time they need to figure out what to do with them, and they found ways to using small chips but superior architecture to make it so much more efficient basically. But interesting thing also though is that it's hard to say if they would be able with such approaches to build the models of the future, because what they managed to do, what DeepSeek managed to do, is to copy basically the most advanced OpenAI models. Like the performance of DeepSeek is close to O1, but it is also going around that they copied a lot of that they used distillation method. They basically copied some of the answers from the OpenAI, if it makes sense to put it in such way. And it's very big question if they would manage to uh, make the performance higher than what OpenAI can achieve right now. But if they will, it will be like complete breakthrough in all of AI world.
Complete revamp of. I think it also has some kind of big geopolitical factors as well, like the idea that obviously America spent like I think hundreds of billions of dollars into like making their models work and making this breakthrough in AI, and then over a span of like what 6 months, Chinese guys just came in and like stole the the light and stole the show. So I think this could also be like pretty interesting for the kind of the relationship between countries. But I also think I want to talk about like how where do you see this go from the DeepSeek model? What's kind of the next steps you would see the kind of the AI evolving, into which directions right now?
So currently the big thing is agentic AI.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we're moving from just generating basic text and performing basic tasks to AI agents doing all of the work. And with models becoming less and less expansive and more powerful, it becomes even more apparent that this is the way. Especially with OpenAI releasing the new agent which can operate on the web,
Mm-hmm.
and we will see it everywhere. And first of all, it will come for the basic back office tasks, like everything to do with documents, I feel. And afterwards, we will see Gen AI in the spaces where it is less apparent that it will come. Like already there are some tools pop up that can do design, that can do design for manufacturing parts, which is like, if you think about it, it sounds mind blowing that AI can potentially design a part of let's say chair, but even in the future design a part of a plane. This could be a big breakthrough, and we already see that AI is widely used in the pharmaceutical industry, and with models becoming more and more powerful, we will see a switch from, let's say, automation and cost reduction and up to the new value creations in the ways we can't imagine right now, and all of those models and tools are getting built now. So this would be
So targeting more like revenue side of things instead of just costs, right?
yeah, basically targeting the site where it involves a lot of research and probably a lot of trial and error, repeatable research. So probably this will come first, and hopefully we will see some even breakthrough researches in the future.
That's true. That's true. I think another big thing that you can spot in the media these days is obviously, like Mark Zuckerberg and and adjacent kind of personalities kind of pitching the idea of replacing kind of streamlining coding practices and replacing a lot of coders with and software engineers on their team, which, as you know, are very very skilled and very high paid, towards kind of automating them with AI tools, right, or AI functions, right? So, what do you think is the kind of the maybe potential timeline? Obviously, the Mark Zuckerberg claims he's going to do it in a year. Hey, and we're gonna conquer the world in a year. But kind of, if we're taking a more holistic and a realistic approach, what do you think is kind of this part?
It's hard to say specific timelines, but what we can see is what's very interesting is that it's not only Zuckerberg who says such things, but we can also see the CEO of Salesforce saying that they need a lot less coders these days. And we can see CEO of Klarna saying as well that they stopped hiring developers right now, and what they have is a national attrition rate. So their workforce is basically shrinking because people are leaving, but they don't hire a replacement. And so we see a lot of those top level tech companies saying that they need less coders and that the existing coders are becoming a lot more efficient. So I believe what we will see is, instead of large teams of people where there is a lot of people of different skill level, we will see very small, very fast-paced teams, which would be a lot more efficient using AI.
Okay, interesting. And but how do you think it's gonna come through improvement to the models, or do you think it's gonna come through kind of the second layer of the kind of more productized versions of AI? So as in, what I mean is, will these companies kind of streamline their coding process using tools, or is it going to be using or through the improvement that are made to the models themselves?
That probably would be both. So tools like Cursor, they are looking into how you can automate coding basically. And I think as those tools would become better and better, like in breaking down the projects into different parts. And for small projects, it would be easier to prototype and design them. And but for larger projects, it is very complicated part is to understand all of project in together. And especially when you have thousands and thousands files and lines of code, is how all of this code interact with each other, and how do you augment it without breaking anything basically. So understanding a complete picture is a hard part, and as models improve, they probably would be able to do it better and better. But what I believe we will see is that for smaller projects, you would see a lot more AI, like building in initial MVP versions of the projects. And for larger projects, you will see very skilled engineers who would basically guide AI on what functions it needs to build, what part of the app. Do you need to add new button? Do you need to add a new page? How this new button would be connected to all of the apps? Does it bring money in? Does it require some other person to process files, etc., etc.? And we will see like people guiding AI, but coding a lot less manually, basically with manual functions.
That's actually a very interesting point. But let's also maybe obviously like a lot of debate right now is focused around kind of tech automating tech, but what does the kind of future hold for more kind of more traditional industries, maybe, like and which industries do you probably see being kind of benefiting the most from kind of AI adoption and implementation within the next kind of probably 5 to 10 years horizon?
Oh, that's very interesting question. Yeah, right now all of tech world is automating itself, as you said,
Exactly.
but it's taking time to distill into the real world. Probably the largest impacted industry, at least in the near future, would be industries where there is a lot of manual work with text, which like requires a lot of knowledge, but limited amount of creative work. And so the industry which would be impacted the most probably would be something including legal or finance industries, where you have a lot of work with documents, and very likely in medium term it would make them review how they bill clients, because in short term or right now lawyers charge a lot per hour.
Yeah, well, last time I heard was £2,000 an hour, at least here.
Exactly, it's quite a bit of money, but
Exactly.
and in short term probably what they would do, they would improve their efficiency, but take it for themselves, the leading companies. But in the long run, as everyone uses AI for law purposes, you can't have lawyers drafting like basic documents for 40 hours for 1,000, 2,000 pounds an hour. And so they would need to review their operating models, basically, like, because if you need 5 hours instead of 40 hours, you don't need 10,000 lawyers in the company. So the question would be what all of those people do, and how it all works. So we will see some big changes in
So,
field next 5 years.
so what I assume we will see is a lawyer charging instead of 2,000, 4,000 pounds an hour, but there's gonna be less lawyers doing the work, which is which always an interesting bit to see how technology back. Do you think there are any other like industries that like come to your mind that are like particularly affected? More directly, maybe like I don't know. Retail or e-commerce or logistics, maybe there is some kind of agentic implications of AI for like more kind of retail space and stuff like this.
Yeah, retail is very interesting in terms of how you shop, and I feel interactions everywhere of how we interact with the online world would change a lot. And in retail particularly, it would be interesting to see how the in e-commerce how we choose products would change. Already Amazon has some shopping assistants, and eBay has some, but those are early stage. But it would be interesting to see when we just type I need the Christmas dinner, and it will choose you everything, and give you, oh, buy this from this company, buy that from that company. And I feel like the very large problem in shopping of problem of choice in e-commerce as well is like when you have to choose from 100 similar microwaves, is which one do you choose? And this
The one that says Samsung versus the one that says Toshiba.
yeah, exactly. And this is so fatiguing, like you spend so much time thinking, oh, what is this specification, what is that specification. And in online especially, you have all those sorts of qualities listed, and probably most of them don't matter. but you still end up looking at them. And I feel like this problem would be removed. And generally about the workforce, I feel like what we would see is the change in the how structure of workforce look like. So we will see a lot more people earning higher amounts, people who are really good at what they do, and people who know how to use AI, which and they would become even more productive and produce even more. And we would see some more people doing like basic work with prompts and stuff. And basically, what is likely to happen is that the middle level of people, like people with medium abilities, they would earn. They would either move towards lower bracket or higher bracket. So we would. It would be a big challenge for people to adapt and to be a lot more efficient with AI.
But also, I think the whole idea is that all the industries we're talking about, and a lot of like, and especially you mentioned like the legal sector, and a lot of the sectors that have kind of paper trail and the process, and these kind of processes. I think that the question that it's interesting to see how you're saying that although these are kind of more like service based and like higher added value industries compared to like construction, something like this, yet you're saying that they're gonna be the first one to be automated. So does this mean that we all gonna go to like dig and dig and drop, or what? Because the kind of what's the like I think an important point, an important debate that could be raised here is like what's like what would be the kind of the future, not only kind of the social, but also like the kind of the technological, probably even like an ethics point, where like how far do you automate, and yeah, do you have any opinions on this?
That's an interesting question. It will be definitely a big challenge, and especially in Western world right now, as we can see, there is.
Yeah, China doesn't have a problem with automating them all.
Yeah, as we already see in UK, in Canada, there is lack of high level opportunities for people and high level jobs in UK particularly. We see a lot of students, a lot of graduates, but not nearly enough job to take all of them. And with the AI, this trend would probably continue. So the question is, will we create enough of new value to give all of those people jobs? And right now it seems that a lot of all of the industries would need a lot of automation, so there is definitely will be space for that. There would be space probably for a lot of consulting and helping companies to automate at all levels, from starting from small companies and basic automation and up to big companies and automation at massive scale. And what it seems to do, it feels like it will revive consulting industry somewhat.
Well, I assume what you're talking about is maybe like even consulting, and I want to kind of refer back to your point on like future in many ways the next kind of layer in the future of working with AI is this kind of idea of people prompting it, right? So a lot of consulting work could be potentially surrounded around the right prompts, right, and the right kind of way of interacting with AI, right? So we're gonna move kind of from human kind of executing work to kind of AI executing work in many ways. So I think the question here is there is and this point of execution of work, right? So there is a big rising kind of technological stream of like like text to action or like voice to action or something to action. What do you think is kind of the biggest like how do you think it's an industry that will kind of, or this space of kind of technological implication will going to grow a lot over the subsequent years, and do you think that we will see a lot of like this like something to action solutions taking place in kind of, let's say, not only like B2B space but only like B2C space, also like B2C space, like are we gonna see them as customers somewhere?
Mm, we probably will see them in retail the soonest,
Mm-hmm.
and as going back to legal, we probably see it a lot there. And actually, it seems like what people will continue to do is deeply human things, like on personal connection level and on monitoring level. So probably everything sales jobs will remain. Like you will still need to do the high level connection with people, and AI can't do that. It's people buy from people, right? And on the text to action level, I feel like what a lot of people will be doing is, as you said, not executing the work, but monitoring the outputs of AI and giving it a green light. Yes, this report is good. Send it
Mm-hmm.
to the client, and you will see a lot of this evaluation work basically appearing, which is not really present right now, or if present, it's like in a lot smaller amounts and reserved for a lot higher position people.
AI is only for big tech companies.
I don't think that AI is like, I think this is a common misconception that AI is only for big companies. In fact, from what we see, at least with our realm, with our work realm, is that most of the kind of, it's starting to trickle down a lot from larger companies to kind of mid and smaller size companies, and then particularly obviously it is definitely a trend that in every kind of innovation, larger companies lead the way usually, and or they are the first adopters often due to multiple factors. The first factor is that they are obviously they have like large budgets and they have a lot of tasks to automate, right? So a lot of them are focused on automating costs, but that does not mean that this is not the same in many cases for mid and like SMEs, let's say. I think there is definitely a lot of space to automate within the for middle and smaller and medium sized companies.
Actually, in fact, AI is for everyone. So you can automate at all levels, starting from very big companies, but in small companies as well. You can automate everything starting from customer onboarding, generating invoices, processing invoices. So if you have repetitive workflows, which you repeat every time, you can automate them with AI. So basically, and in fact, AI is a way how small companies can beat big companies right now by doing everything faster and more efficient.
For example, we work with a kind of mid-size Spanish marketing consulting company that basically has their own kind of proprietary kind of framework on helping companies kind of grow, kind of grow their presence and stuff. And we like they reached out to us with a a request to automate part of that consulting process for their for them and for their clients, and make it a bit more interactive for the clients. So I think this is I think a great example of how AI benefits mid-sized companies as well.
You need massive budgets for AI implementation.
Basically, AI starts delivering value fast, and it's quite fast in development. So what usually companies supposed to do and how we approach it is start with small POCs and MVPs, and where you can see value fast. And once you see value, you start scaling it, and it isn't really a problem usually, since the value it delivers outpaces the cost in like very short terms.
Yeah, in many ways there is kind of the AI shifted the idea of the standard like proof of concept, like POC thing in the tech space towards more proof of value, and I think that kind of that proof of value is like a very quick and efficient way of and cost efficient way as well of ensuring that there is that kind of AI solves your particular problem.
AI will replace all human workers.
False. Basically, what we will see is that AI replaces a lot of manual work, but we will still need to monitor the AI outputs, and we will still have a lot of work that is dependent on human personal connection, like sales, like personal care, like identifying particularly the needs of the clients, and if something is feasible. So I feel like AI would replace a lot of boring work and make everyone more creative, basically.
And I also think that definitely, a lot of people that also are involved in like manual jobs and stuff. They're often concerned that AI is going to replace us all and these robots are going to take over. I don't think this is going to be the case in the foreseeable future. Anyway, due to multiple reasons, including the speed of the development of AI, and also the speed of development of like robotic systems as well, and mechanical engineering and stuff.
You need to wait until AI technology matures before implementing it into your business.
I think it's exactly the wrong way of looking at AI sometimes, and what we've noticed over the kind of the span of the work we've been doing is that companies are often kind of divided into like two groups, those that rush very quickly into implementing stuff, and they're like, oh yes, we need to do it, we need to implement it, we need to throw everything we have at it, and so they often end up with solutions that they do not need, or that are actually do not bring real value to them. And another group of kind of customers that we see often in the market is the complete opposite one. It's the ones that, oh, AI, very scary. What do we do about this? Like, and they would be like, oh, we probably have to wait. We'll wait and see. And I think the biggest issue here is that in many industries, the industries are so fast-paced at this stage that if you do not kind of go hand in hand with technology, and if you kind of wait and implement, you give wait with implementation, you give other your competitors an edge, because you give them time to implement this while you've been waiting, and eventually you will. That is also an important point, that you have to start with implementing AI, but in the right way. Like it has to be a thought through step-by-step process, without rushing, but also without delaying.
Big part is also that of capturing value from AI is not just having a relevant AI solution, but it is having all the relevant infrastructure in place, and having all the organizational or infrastructure in place. So you need people who would actually be leading your AI way forward, and you need all the relevant data and technical infrastructure to benefit from AI. And once you have all of that established, it's relatively easy to integrate AI into your operations and to upgrade your solutions once more powerful models come into play. But what you definitely can't do is don't do anything, since appearance of AI is the same as appearance of internet. It is there to stay for a long time. It's not disappearing anywhere, and you can't just wait for some magical maturing spot. You need to proactively engage with it to capture the most value.
And I think the point that you mentioned, Max, is that it's often overlooked the importance of infrastructure around it, and especially the data infrastructure around it. And a lot of companies, come and say, "Oh yeah, do this solution for us. It's so cool." But then you tell them, "Oh, but you do not have the right data infrastructure. You do not have the right kind of way of handling this data as well. So what kind of value is it actually going to bring? There is no point of doing anything within your business AI base if you do not have the right kind of data. So when companies think about starting off, they should think about the whole process, and think that when you invest in your data and invest in your infrastructure, that's also starting to do AI already.